Hi, I'm Jonathan Charles here with Patty Shee. Patty Shee came to me on Sunday and he said that he has a vacation this week, so we need to do something special. So welcome to Lancaster County. We're going to go biking and canoeing on the Susquehanna River. We're here at the Columbia Crossing. It's a visitor center, and it's also the beginning of the trail, the bike trail that goes from Columbia to Bainbridge, and it follows the river. So our plan is that we're going to put our bikes off here and lock them, and then go up to Bainbridge and put the canoe off, and we'll canoe down the river and then bike back to the car.
I don't know if we're going to make it there. I don't know how long it'll take.
There goes a nice blue heron. Well, we're coming down the Susquehanna here. We just started at Bainbridge. The water is pretty slow. It's not moving too much, but it's beautiful. And we have a long way to go. Right there's the Bainbridge power plant. It's really nice to see that the water has come up. The water was so low. Yeah, we didn't want to hit that rock, did we? What's that? It's going very nicely. The important thing is to keep the canoe going straight. If you keep the canoe going straight, it will do very well.
Wow, it's a long one. That's a good fish right there.
Yeah, the water, that rain really brought the river up in just one rain. I can't believe it. It's a little bit of an island here.
Half hours for 3 miles, 1 hour will be 6 miles.
Yeah, so we've been on, we've been paddling how long? A half hour.
Yeah.
And we've gone 3 miles.
Yeah.
So that means we'll be able to get it. It's an 11-mile journey. We are coming down a long flat strip here on the way toward the Riverfront Park. So it's kind of like a big lake. Few rocks jutting out. Nice cabins over here on the York side. Just beautiful. Sun's not so hot, just a little overcast. We don't have a wind that we're paddling into. It's going very well. Here we are at the Waterfront Park. So I think that this is around the 6-mile mark. So we've canoed about 5 miles. How long have we been canoeing?
40 minutes.
About 40 minutes. So we haven't gone an hour yet, and we've done 5 miles. So we should be able to do this. It's kind of interesting. The currents in the river are a little funny sometimes. I think it's because of the rocks underneath. Sometimes the water goes in circles rather than straight down river. I think it's all because of the rocks underneath. Here we are coming down toward the island where Marietta is. We have such beautiful little houses over here on the York side. Just really nice houses right along the riverfront. And I think when we get around this bend, we'll be able to see the Columbia Bridge. Here we have arrived at Marietta Boat Club. So Marietta Boat Club is sort of in the middle of Marietta. So this is the boat club that about 3 miles from our destination, I think. Down here you see Chiques Rock. Do you see Chiques Rock there in the distance? So as soon as we round this bend, we'll see the Columbia Bridge. So it's pretty exciting. It's pretty flat water here. The water's kind of slow, but it's just such a perfect day to be out here. Well, we're only about 1.5 miles from our destination.
That's pretty long.
It's just time to break open the sandwiches and have our picnic. What do you think, Fatty She?
That's really great.
What a great place to eat, have our dinner. Out here in the middle of this flat water.
Because I want to have a sandwich on a boat. Because when I live in Thailand, refugee camp, we used to canoe and we just eat on a boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this brings back memories for you.
For the memory back to refugee camp.
Very good. Well, this was fun.
Yeah.
We just had our lunch, and as we ate, we floated down with the current, which is a little bit slow, but you can kind of see that we came around this bend where these houses are, and you see the 2 bridges here that cross at Columbia. And over here's Chiques Rock. We have a fair number of rocks up ahead here, so we're going to come over onto the Lancaster side toward Chiques Rock to avoid most of those rocks. It's just a beautiful view of Chiques Rock in the fall over there. When we ride bike, we'll be coming back underneath that rock on our way up, back up to Bainbridge on our bicycle. The idea is just to keep the boat straight, and it works out very nice. It was beautiful. It's just a perfect day to be out here. That was nice, wasn't it? That was nice. bridge is up there, what, 80 feet or so? It's pretty high.
80 feet?
I don't know, it's pretty high. Here we are, Route 462, the old Columbia Bridge, right at the visitor center. So we're almost home. And then we have to ride bike.
We have to ride bike.
Okay. I think we'll just pull in right about here. Yeah, I think that's a good spot. Right about there. Yes, a little bit. A little further. Ah, that's great. Okay, now I'm going to get out of the canoe. What do you think? We had a good time.
Yeah, it's a great
And
day.
what time is it?
3,
3 o'clock. And what time did we start?
1.
1 o'clock.
Yeah, about 2 hours.
So it was 2 hours. We had a little bugaboo. Patty's chief forgot his key for the bike lock on his bike. So I have to ride by myself back to the car, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But he'll stay here with the canoe. It'll take me about an hour to the car. So here we go. Okay, it's just a short little distance there out of Columbia to Route 30, and then from there we're in Wilderness all the way up to Bainbridge, except we do get into Marietta a little bit. But so here we go, going under Route 30, and now we'll continue on around Chiques Rock. Just a beautiful rock. It's about 300 feet up there, I think. Yeah. But can't stay long if Patty she's back waiting by the canoe for me. This is Chiques Creek. It's not flooded anymore. There's the railroad bridge down there. And now we'll come up to Marietta. Marietta's an old iron making town. There used to be a lot of coal furnaces around here, and they burnt limestone from the quarry that we passed, and they make charcoal down here to make the iron. And here is the Historical Society at the Furnace Center, which usually used to be like the central office of the coal fire and charcoal fired iron furnaces down below here toward the river. And of course these houses here are original. They're old houses that were used to house the workmen, the people that worked there. So kind of a historic town, very much a historic town. And we'll ride up Front Street for just a little bit till we jump back on the trail. Now we're back on Front Street, and these are the houses that are on Front Street. Sometimes the river would flood and these houses would take in water. I remember back in flood of Agnes, I helped clean out these houses when the flood occurred. There was about 4 foot of water in these houses. It was a messy job trying to clean them out, but they've been here ever since and haven't been flooded. So how many years has that been? Almost 30, I think. I'm not sure when Agnes was, maybe 72, something like that. I'm going to jump back on the trail here, and we'll take the trail up to Bainbridge from here. This is not like a typical rails to trail that goes in a straight line. This kind of curves around. If there's a tree here or a tree there, the trail will accommodate the tree. And so it's quite an interesting little trail here as we meander along. Right now we're going past the Marietta Boat Club. The trail goes around their property. Here we're at the parking lot in the north end of Marietta. It's a nice parking lot. I always think of this as kind of a halfway point, but it's not really. I think we're into this trail about 5 miles, and we have 6 miles to go. But it's just a beautiful trail through the woods, and now that the leaves are coming down, you're starting to see the river a little better. You'll be able to look out here to my left. Hopefully you can see it, see the river out there. This is the first time I've ever used a GoPro camera, and I can only guess what it's photographing. Because I have this thing mounted on a band on my head, and I really don't know what you're seeing. I hope you're seeing something meaningful. Hello. Came out of the woods, we're out in open fields, and sure enough, here's a deer. I hope you can see it. It's out there feeding on the rye that was sowed for a winter crop. Now we're approaching the Riverfront Park here along the trail. It's a great place for family reunions. It's really well used. If you come up here on Saturday or Sunday, it's full of people. It's a great place. People launch their boats here and go fishing out there. There's a fella who sits as a township supervisor for Canoe Township, who is in upper years now, probably close to my age, I don't know, in his upper 60s. I see him working out here. He helps maintain the trail. I don't know his name, but we have him to thank. His father served on the board of supervisors for Canoe Township way back 30-some years ago, when the railroad company was selling off the frontage for the river. The railroad company owned the land, and they were selling the land, and so Canoe Township, so this guy talked his dad into buying it, and he said this is going to be a park someday, and everyone was probably a little bit down on the idea. They weren't exactly positive, but he talked his father into supporting it, and they bought it, and it took more than 30 years for it to come to completion. He had to talk the other townships into acquiring the ground as well, and getting the right-of-ways for privately owned ground, and now we have a park, all because of a 30-year project vision that this young man had back when he was in his early 30s, and now we have a park. So we're enormously blessed to have this gift to our community, I think. A lot of people have contributed to this park. The incinerator is right over there, but through the trees you can hardly see it. But they have contributed a large part. I think their last gift was $450,000 for the construction of this bikeway. It's really good to see the water levels back up. It was like 2 foot lower than this just a week ago. If you check the river levels at Harrisburg, if the river levels are at 7 feet, the waters are about equal to the base of this walkway. If it's at 8 feet, it's just coming onto this walkway, and at 9 feet, you can't get through here because of the water. So if the waters are really high and you suspect that, you check the water levels at Harrisburg, you'll know whether you can get through here or not. But it doesn't take long for them to clean it up after it's flooded. They really maintain this place well. Here's the incinerator. Funny, I thought it was back there a bit, but they're one of the large contributors toward the construction of this. Even though a lot of public money went into this as well. I gotta stop and show you this dolomite pile of waste from the quarry. It's there's nothing hazardous about it at all. It's limestone, and lime is used to purify water, so there's nothing hazardous about it, but it is just quite an interesting pile of waste that is actually beautiful. So we'll climb up here and take a look at the river from the top of this pile. There we go. Those are some of the rapids we came down across in the canoe. You can kind of see it. Yeah. Well, we're closing in on Bainbridge here. Just a short distance yet till we're at the car. It was a great day. I appreciate this park a whole lot, and I'm glad you could ride along here on this trip today. So I'll say goodbye for now, and wish you all the best. Thank you.